camera, they're changing my voice. I don't naturally sound like the typical American or something. But anyway, let's get into this video. Some people might ask the question, say, do you hate Jews? Right? Do I hate Jews? Okay, I don't like anyone who's outside of the divine order. And that's what this video I posted, maybe it was the video before this, where it says God hates the perverse, the righteous detest the dishonest, the wicked hate the upright, what have you. And as far as Jews go, you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of different types of Jews. You know, there's white-looking Sephardim, Ashkenazi Jews. There's more recent converts. There's a lot of different types, and there's a lot of sizes and shapes and so on and so forth. There's Ethiopian Jews. You know, growing up, I was rather, you know, if anything, I favored Ethiopians. My first girlfriend that I was with for a long time, really having an adult relationship with, was Ethiopian. So, you know, do I hate people for what race they are? No. Okay, I can't stress that enough. But let's look at, for example, Proverbs 4:23, okay, or 22 and 23, or 21 through 23 rather. For your ways are in full view of the Lord, and He examines all your paths. The evil deeds of the wicked ensnare them; the cords of their sin hold them fast. For lack of discipline they will die, led astray by their own great folly. Okay, so for lack of discipline they will die, led astray by their own great folly. God sees what they're doing; they're ensnared by their sins. Okay, we see another part of Proverbs where it says, a person's own folly leads to their ruin. Okay, but their heart rages against the Lord. So people who don't obey God through me are being foolish, and it causes things to happen in their life. And by them not obeying God through me, right? And I see many people all the time. One of them just drove by right now, sticking their head at me. You know, I'll put that at the end of this video or something. So people all the time kind of have a certain arrogant rejection of God, okay? And it costs society dearly. So before we explore it more, I want you to remember the facts here. What are the facts here? If you're a wise person, okay, Proverbs talks about, it's the Proverbs of Solomon, and it's for understanding and so on and so forth. Okay, if you're a wise person and you know that 1 in 4 girls are molested in America, and around the world for the most part, it's somewhat similar, I'd imagine, by now. For nothing else, colonialism, right? This is a problem that is very much part of the Western culture, some other cultures in the world, and the West kind of took the world by storm. Okay, you know that 3 million children starve to death a year, die of hunger-related issues. 9 million people, you know, it's said to be, you know, one site said it was 25,000 plus a day, and 10,000 of them are children, 10,000 plus. Okay, you are angry at the world according to their deeds, right? One who's slack in his work is brother to the core reasons, the people who are the core reasons, the globalists, you know, what have you, white supremacists, Zionists, fanatic LGBT activists, you know, rich ones, you know, in terms of wealthy money, you know, kind of George Soros types and so on and so forth. That you know for sure that that's the case. And when Soros starts a controlled opposition movement, you know, funds Black Lives Matter, what have you, and it's just to social engineer. Okay, we know that for sure. Okay, what was the effect? What was the intended effect? What was the effect? What is the effect? It all lines up. You know, people are saying, hey, this is some kind of ruse, and we see it time and time again. We see the effects line up. Okay, there's all kinds of domestic violence, rapes, assaults, exploitation, theft. Okay, you got to say, hey, what kind of person comes into this world and only cares about themselves? And then, like having a new puppy or dog, they say, oh, they have a baby. They say, he's so cute, isn't he? Oh, look what he does. I love when he does that, and says stuff like this, right? It's like a teddy bear. Their kid is not a life form with a soul to them. It's just a puppy. A teddy bear has his father's eyes, maybe a little bit more than that, and that's it. Okay, some people cry more over their lost pets than other people are sad about their children dying. Okay, these are the facts here. Okay, people are monsters. The word demon means a skilled performer, is one definition, and demon scramble is an anagram for odd men. Okay, so If I didn't resent the majority of people, if not almost all people, but my parents and I'd be out of my mind. I resent people according to their deeds. When I have to use the Bible to explain things. And keep in mind, there's a lot of nice Jews out there, friendly people, so on and so forth. But I have to use the Bible to explain things. And it confuses the divine order, and I have to sort through it and try to figure out how to explain it to people that it's a Royal African Falcon martial art order and that I'm biracial, I'm not racist. Okay, well, I'm persecuted. You can imagine you get angry at times. These people literally, with military grade psychology, try to provoke me to say racist things, and I don't say racist things in my videos. Sometimes I come close to it, and it saddens me, but I don't do that. When I'm off camera, sometimes, yeah, I get angry. Okay? Sometimes they zap my brain. They fuel me. For whatever reason, it causes some kind of zapping-like feeling in the brain. And this is not brain seizures. They're going to pretend it's some kind of brain seizures or some kind of mental disorder or some kind of random disease or something. Okay? That's not what's going on. It always accompanies the fumes, and other people have detected them too. So now put yourself in my shoes. I'm probably the most empathetic, compassionate person that ever lived. Certainly I must be. Most sensitive. You see what I'm saying? Think I want to hate anybody? You think I don't want to have true love on the beach and cuddle by the, in a cabin, for example? In a different scenario, under a blanket, drinking hot coffee and cuddle with my true love? You think I don't want to do these things? Okay? God so loved the world that he sent his son, knowing he was very sensitive, very loving, who's going to get his heart broken, giving people one last chance. Okay? There's only so much you can do. Put yourself in God's shoes, put yourself in my shoes, you'll get it real fast, hopefully. Okay? All these people that were sent, all these nice people, Ethiopians, some of the Jews themselves to some degree, they were sent to try to reason with you. Okay, some of these guys were somewhat evil, right? Some of these people, there's different people sent as messengers of good and evil, right? Hitler and so on and so forth. People were sent to send messages that were crystal clear. Evil is wrong. It's crystal clear. Some dickheads wanted to argue that evil doesn't exist. Okay? Then, let's say for the sake of argument that's a possibility. Let's just say for the sake of argument. Then what do you call human suffering? What do you call suffering for stupid reasons because people are evil and stupid? What would you describe that as? Because whether or not it exists is neither here nor there. As an example, if you were confused about the way they're confusing things, how confused are you? Would you marry a rock? You know what I'm saying? Would you mistake a building for your child? I mean, what degree of confused are you? It's pretty straightforward. Right? When Martin Luther King said date by the content of the character, did we really need to hear that from him to know that that's the right thing to do? Okay? Date based on who you're attracted to and the content of the character. Now, if everyone's a bad person, forget who you're attracted to, almost everybody, and only go for the one guy with character. And don't try to trick him collectively to settle. If he's interested in a female, he is. If he's not, he's not. Don't come together and try to use technology to try to get him to settle. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't want to discuss is that the government is using technology to manipulate your emotions. So I'm right for more than one reason to say stop following your petty emotions. People still logically see, right? Let's say you're an adult and you're having trouble with your marriage and you start thinking that a little kid is cute. You got to catch yourself. You got to write on the wall. You're better off writing on the wall that, hey, for whatever reason, people are dating people that they shouldn't date. Okay? And you've got to force yourself to do the right thing. Okay? People are suffering. When people are suffering, the logical person says, what's wrong with you people? Spending $1 billion on houses and jewelry and stuff like this, so to speak. Okay? While people are starving. There's 22.5 million millionaires and billionaires in America. And there's child hunger in America. Homelessness is a big problem. People won't legislate things in a way that is cheap and easy to build homes for the homeless. There's all kinds of stupid issues that shouldn't be a problem that are a problem because of people's pettiness, greed, and their desire to control people. When we look at the issue at hand, anybody getting in the way of me restoring the divine order is going to piss me off more than other people, basically. Okay? So let's say some white supremacists say, hey, no, I'm German and we're the master race. He couldn't be God's son because, and they say that because he must be of Aryan descent or whatever. How would you be mad? Okay? Now, what if you started explaining why they're wrong and they started persecuting? We gotta put things in perspective here. Now, I'm just gonna, leave it there. It is sad. You know what I'm saying? It is sad. It is sad that society wasn't honest, that I'm Christ, and that people didn't start coming to me and listening to me, and it didn't start putting the appropriate pressure on politicians to do the right thing. And they didn't allow me to form a moral committee. It's sad that even though I'm not famous, that people didn't submit themselves to form a moral committee and to put it on their YouTubes and to try to get the message out and said, this is what we found is the morally precise solution in this situation, and this is why. I've done a pretty good job explaining things, but there's nothing like a whole committee there to assist me, okay, especially while I'm persecuted, to get that message out. That would have been so lovely, okay, society acknowledging me as God's son, therefore acknowledging God, and not playing stupid on behalf of the governing class, European governing class, globalists, what have you, Zionists, whoever. They played stupid for them so they can pretend that these guys are ideal. Harry Potter, George Bush, you name it. It is absurd. It is absurd, the celebrity game they're playing. Why does that matter to them? They look like idiots. They look like oppressors. Why is that so important? Why didn't they learn from Hitler? Why didn't they learn from Prince Humperdinck, King George, King Louis? Why didn't they learn why not to be an arrogant, spotlight-hoarding scoundrel? Why didn't they judge the system based on the character and give me my rightful place before displaying the most character out there? Why do they twist what character is and say, this is a real hero, he saved a cat from a tree, he tackled a terrorist like anyone else would, and so on and so forth? Why do they play these stupid games instead of give me my right to save as many people as I can, give me my right to correct these economic, social, and political systems? Why do they hate their kids so much, and they hate children in general, that they're going to cause 1 in 4 little girls to be raped? Why don't people see that this is unacceptable? Why don't they come together and say this stops now, even if it kills them? Why don't they see that's what human is? What's better than human is how masterfully and how much you try beyond that. How well you do beyond that. So that's a superhuman. A human says, no, we're not going to sit here and do nothing while 3 million children starve to death. We're not going to be controlled opposition. We're not going to do nothing while 1 in 4 little girls is molested sexually. While the most righteous guy that ever lived is shunned because society's rules are so cruel. I mean, what are the implications? Forget how I feel about it. Think about the other implications. How could this have happened? Did I not love America and the world more than anyone ever has? Lying lips to test those they hurt. Those who suffer persecution to tell you the truth love more than everybody else. So did I not love the Jews more than anyone in human history? The white, the LGBT community, and everyone else, and did they not persecute me every day with no intention to stop for that love? Is that not the answer here? The answer to your question? If you have that question.